to another episode of Ask the Wizard streaming live almost daily. How choosing different energetic states changes the whole experience of an emotion. And here's the thing, the energetic state, I'll explain what that means, and an emotional experience are two different things. So often we put the two together, which is where we end up putting ourselves in the weeds. All right, starting the 5-minute timer now. All right, see you in 5 minutes. Hey everyone, how you doing? Welcome to another broadcast of Ask the Wizard streaming live almost daily. Check this, and I think we're good to go. How's everyone doing today? Good. Share. We're all in this together. I do have the monitor. I have a variety of them, but I have one right over here. So when you hop online, I can see you. So if you wanted to shout out and say, hey, that would be wonderful. How different energetic states change really the whole. Oh, I hit the keyboard. I have hotkeys all over the place. You got to be careful because if you hit the wrong key in the keyboard, who knows what will happen. How different energetic states change the whole experience of an emotion. So first of all, let me clarify between what I mean by energetic state, and I'm choosing that as an anchor. Hey, Candace, how you doing? I'm choosing that as an anchor. I mean, these labels can mean many different things, but for now, just stick with me. Energetic state or states and the experience of an emotion. So let's bring in Mr. Flip. And there we have, okay, there. Okay. I have no idea why I somehow turned the audio completely down, but you never know how that goes. Anyway, okay. Gotta love it. Live video, as they say, like live TV. So this is you here. And just for our, we're going to call this internal. So what I mean by that is it's your internal state, right? So your external experience is out here. And then there's your internal state. So your thoughts, for instance, are an internal state, right? Okay, let's flip back. So this is you. And this is the external. So the world of your five senses, what's out here, right? And then there's, so I've put your I am here. So your I am is your soul, your spirit, your higher self, whatever label you want to use. Now, for our purposes here, I'm going to put our, I've got to figure out what the setting is on that. But anyway, oh dear. I'm going to put your body here. Now, I realize this little stick figure is supposed to be your body, but just stick with me on this, okay? Right. So where you experience an emotion. So an emotion has two parts. There's the label of the emotion, which is internal. So what do I mean by that? Happy, sad, angry, excited, like pick your label, right? And then there's the experience of the emotion, which you feel in your body. Now, this is really important to remember because I find we get so hung up on the labels when that isn't really what matters. And this is a really important thing to understand. When you're experiencing an emotion, where are you experiencing it? What determines whether an emotion is a good emotion or a bad emotion? Is it a negative emotion or a positive emotion? It's not the label. This is really cool. It's a cool exercise. When you're feeling an emotion, the first thing you're going to do is I feel happy, I feel sad, I feel whatever. Then what I want you to do is change your focus to what you're feeling in your body, because this is what happens. Where you experience what really matters in an emotion, sorry guys, I'll figure this out one day, is in your body. So when you say an emotion is a positive one or a good one, what you're saying is the sensations that you're feeling feel good. If you say it's a negative or a quote unquote bad one, the sensations you're feeling in your body don't feel good. Now, why is this? I'm going to figure this out one day. Why is this so important? Because every emotional experience is a journey that has, and I'm going to choose a different color, that has a beginning, one day, a beginning, a middle, and an end. So it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. The sensations that you feel, right? Now, whether that journey is initiated by some external information coming in, whether that journey is initiated by a thought, right? So it could be a physical stimulus, a non-physical stimulus, or maybe you're feeling the emotion and you don't even know where it's coming from. It has a beginning. You start to feel it in your body, right? And then, whether it is a positive, negative, pleasurable or unpleasurable, see, right? Then what happens is it goes to some apex of some type, right? And then returns to this. So it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Now, here's what's important to remember. Whether this here is like this, or whether it's like that, it still has a beginning, a middle, and an end. But you see what happens so often is we get stuck somewhere along that journey. And there tends to be three, generally speaking, ways we experience this emotional journey. I keep using that word because it's a journey. It's designed to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. The first one is, I'm going to change colors. The first one is we feel it approaching, right? It's initiated, right? And then we stop it right there. Why? Usually two reasons. And this is broad generalization. Because we've labeled this, whatever this journey is, because we focus on the label, and we know from the label that it's a bad journey, so we resist taking it. But here's the thing. Whether it is pleasant or unpleasant and anywhere in between, once this journey, and this is so important to remember, once this journey is initiated, it must be completed. So once this is started here, it has to complete this journey. So because we stop it here, guess what happens? That gets stuck. And the vast majority of the challenges that we see in our external experience here, right? What in many ways equates, and here I am labeling again, trauma it's like an unconcluded emotional journey. It's stuck and it's waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting because it wants to take its journey and be done, right? But so often we stop it right here. Now, the second one is we launch into it and we get stuck right there. Okay, now this is an interesting one. Every emotional journey or experience is designed to have a beginning, a middle, and an end, whether it is an unpleasant one or whether it is a pleasant one. See, so often what happens is, this is really kind of interesting to think about, is it's a pleasurable one. It's like, oh, I like the way this feels. It's positive or good, right? We kind of get to the apex of it. It feels amazing, but we want to try and hang on to that because, what's kind of cool is so many of these things, they all come from fear, right? We want to hang on to that. Why? Because we think we'll never be able to experience it again. So it feels really good, positive, right? Oh, it feels amazing, feels wonderful. And then we try and kind of hang on to it and stop it because we don't want to lose it. And what's interesting is any emotional journey that is stopped anywhere along this path can cause us challenges. Here's what's really cool. By not allowing that emotional journey, the one that's wonderfully pleasant, to have a beginning, a middle, and an end, we often prevent additional ones from presenting themselves to us because we're plugging up the system. So whether it's an unpleasant one or whether it's a pleasant one, when it's stuck, it plugs up the system. It's like stuck energy, and stuck energy is stagnant energy, and stagnant energy, I'm going to say I think maybe I could say always, is going to cause us issues somewhere along the line. Then there is the third response. You probably guessed it. We initiate it, or it is initiated, or we can initiate it too, right? Hey, Stacy, how you doing? And then we allow it to have the beginning, the middle, and the end. Every emotional journey is just that. It's a journey. It's a series of sensations that we feel in our body that are designed to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. So often, I'm digressing here, but I live on rabbit trails, as you guys know. With whatever healing modality you happen to be using. You see, and this is why this is really cool. I'm just going to kind of freestyle here a little bit. When we have those holistic healings, those emotional releasings. I mean, all these different labels, right? This is something with Reiki, and of course not exclusively, happens a lot. So a person gets a Reiki treatment, or they start doing their own self-treatments, and then, hey there, friend, I have some stagnant energy. I need to feel. Oh, yes, girl. I hear you. This is where, trust me, sister, whew, this is where stubbornness is our greatest trait. And so a couple of things, just in response to that. I did a broadcast a while ago, and I'm not saying it's directly related to what your experience, it is to mine, is trying to regain what we've lost is a losing bet. And because of what I mean by that is I call it the creative flow, the universe, I mean, pick your label for it. Because it is infinitely creative, it cannot duplicate. Right? So because it's infinitely creative, it only creates, it cannot duplicate. And I think what happens so often is, and I'll speak for myself, is you have these experiences that have the pleasurable emotional experiences over and over, and you see it manifest in the physical, and it's all amazing. But then it seems to come to an end. And what I had, still do, but I'm much better at it, a tendency to do is try and regain what we've perceived as losing. So it's like, if I could just get back to, if I could just recreate that. I'll just keep it real here. And again, I'm much better at it now. If I could just recreate the travel and the workshops and all that kind of stuff, right? But as the universe kind of works with me, I remembered that because the universe only creates, it only looks forward. It doesn't know how to duplicate the past. So because it's moving forward, and in essence, I'm moving backwards, it's like this is happening. Right? Now, I mean, the universe is going to have its way with us. That's just the way it is. But we can either go willingly or we can go kicking and screaming sort of thing, right? Willingly is a lot easier. But I think for me anyway, it was really subtle, but it was really restricting in sort of trying to recreate that, as opposed to taking components of it, taking characteristics of the past and including them in what you want to manifest in the future, but also understanding that the future is going to be different. It's going to be unique. It's going to be new. Often we don't know the specifics of it, but to let go of that need to recreate the past. I found for me, when I sort of surrendered to that, and it was like, okay, so what's the next chapter, to be a bit cliche, right? Let it go. Oh, for those of you who are listening to this somewhere else, I will read it. So Stacy says, you always know what I'm saying. There you go. Yep, having trouble with that new, LOL, and 180% letting go of what was, because what was so awesome. That's right. And so I think for people like us that have been on this journey for a while, have got some, I guess, spiritual maturity, if you will. I did it was a blog post years ago, and it was often in the beginning, the universe, source, pick your label, shows us what's behind the door so we can walk through it. And then as we grow, a source gives us hints on what's behind the door, and then we walk through it. As we continue to grow, source doesn't even show us a door. It doesn't show us an inkling of what's next. It just says, will you, it's always our choice, choose to trust me that first of all, there is a door. And even not knowing what's behind it, Trust me that it's going to be amazing and wonderful. Also knowing that it's probably going to be challenging to get through that door. But in so many respects, Source would say, but do you want to go on the journey? And trust me that, I don't know if you call it I know what's best, but just trust that what's on the other side of that door, you don't even know where the frickin' door is, right? Because you can't go through the other ones. They're locked forever. You've lived that. Trust me that there is a door, and what's behind the door is going to be fantastic. But it's always your choice. Do you choose to go or not? We're never forced into that choice. It's really always up to us to choose to say yes. And I guess that's what I do. No, I don't guess. That's what I do over and over. And some days I say it once, and sometimes I say it 1,000 times, and some days I'm wind beneath my wings when I'm saying it, and some days my butt's dragging on the ground when I'm saying it. But I will, for the duration of my time in this body on this earth, say yes, no matter what. And when I choose to say no, I would love to say I never do. But when I choose to say no, it usually never lasts long, and I go back to choosing yes again. Because in a way, what other direction is there to go but straight ahead? Even when we don't know what straight ahead looks like. But we choose to go anyway. Well, that is nowhere near where I tended to go, but exactly where we needed to be in this conversation today. Share. We're all in this together. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks, Stacy, for the conversation. I always enjoy it. I miss those conversations, and well, maybe we can't have them in person. We've got this. If anybody ever wants to connect through Zoom, of course, Zoom has become part of our nomenclature now. I would love to do that if that works for you. See you on the web. How you doing? It's Russ here.